Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like an iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Kahallah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekahak Radash. Double honors to the elder apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, for teaching his word in truth and sincerity, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. You gotta know who your enemy is as you tread this terrain. For a lot of our people, mingle with our enemies and take part in their customs, their traditions, worshiping their pagan idols, and all the other things that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai said not to do. That was the reason we were scattered in the first place, for our disobedience in worshiping and creating pagan idols. Like when we came out of Egypt and we was in the wilderness, and just like Jake, just like our people, man, we became impatient, didn't trust in Moses as he was communicating with the Most High Yahweh, and pretty much forced Aaron into creating a pagan god made out of all the gold, made of a golden calf. The whole time we was in the wilderness, our people were complaining, grumbling, moaning, murmuring, pretty much just talking shit and being impatient, grumbling about eating manna, which is heavenly bread, sweet like honey, complaining that you had to eat that, you wanted meat. So the Most High gave you everything you needed, but yet you still wasn't content. And you kept you know what I'm saying? We kept talking shit, kept being disobedient. So pretty much he just scattered us across the whole globe. He scattered us amongst all these heathen nations. So that's why, you'll have Israelites that's going to look like these heathen nations. They're going to have the appearance of these heathen nations because we were scattered amongst them. So you have to be kind of careful how you tread and how you deal with people, because you don't know who you're dealing with. But through the Spirit, you'll see who these, you know what I'm saying? You can see who's a heathen and who's not. Our people is wicked as shit. And a lot of them will appear as a heathen nation because they just that wicked. And a lot of them don't know that they have that direct link to the Most High as being Israelites. So when we move out here, you have to move, with caution. But you have to keep your guard up against your enemies. And your enemies are these heathen nations. This is Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Esau is the wicked of all wickedness when it comes to these heathen nations. They tried their damnedest to change all the names, all the places of people, because all these things, all these people, all this land, all all the land, all the people are still who they are. It's just that Esau has profaned everything so bad that he's changed the names of all the people, because he don't want nobody to know who he truly is. And if you able to, if you have discernment, if you're able to discern the scriptures, you can see exactly who Esau is. According to Ecclesiastes 1:9, there's nothing new under the sun. So that means everything is bound to repeat itself. So when you look at it, when you look at it, Esau has pretty much corrupted the whole world with his lies. So by the changing of names, the people, names of land, the people are all confused. A lot of people are confused. A lot of different nations are, I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of nations are confused about who they actually are, according to the scriptures. So yeah, Esau tried to cover up the faces of the judges. So he tried, he pretty much, he displaced everything. He displaced all the names of the people in the Bible, and gave them new names, gave them new traditions, because that's just how profane he is. That's why he is known as the devil that the Bible speak of. Devil being deceiver. So he has deceived the whole world with his lies. And he's our number one enemy. That's the so-called white man. Now, you can't sit there and say all white men are devils. Yes, you can. But we also have Israelites that's scattered amongst them. So that's why you have to tread lightly. And when you're dealing with people, and try to discern through the spirit, because you could tell who a Jake is, because a Jake has this thing with them. It has this. They have this rhythm. They have this soul, like this spirit on them that's soulful, what you would call soulful. The way they move, the way they act, the things they say, how they interact with people. They are more lively. They're a lively group of people that have a rhythm to them. So you can kind of see who people are if you actually pay attention. And Esau thinks he's going to get away with this, but the Most High is going to correct all this. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai will correct all these things as, once prophecy plays itself out. You're going to see who's actually who. This is 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. That's exactly what I was just speaking on. Esau is known for his corruption. He's known for his undisputed hatred, his violence, his rape, his murder, the way he robbed lands, countries. He invade territories and take them over. He was given the blessing of the sword, and that's exactly how he rules. He rules with an iron fist. He rules with the sword. He come off subtle, like the serpent in the garden. He comes off subtle. He speaks to you with sweet words, but he has a violent intent with him. He has a destructive nature. He has a destructive intent with him. And you know who Esau is because of the way he moves across the world. Everywhere he goes, he invades, and he rape, rob, murder, and strip the land of its natural resources, strip the people of their natural resources, and then make them convert over to his way of thinking, his way of being, his way of living, his way of worship. That's our number one enemy, Esau, followed by the heathen nations. This is 2 Corinthians 11, and I'm going to read 14 and 15 in the GNT. Well, no wonder even Satan can disguise himself to look like an angel of light. So it is no great thing if his servants disguise themselves too like servants of righteousness. In the end, they will get exactly what their actions deserve. Satan meaning adversary. When you look the word up, Satan means an adversary. So that spirit of Satan is all over Esau. He's a deceiver and he's our adversary. And he will disguise himself to appear as humble, as righteous, and that he's a peaceful man, but he's not. It's not in his nature to be so. So he will wage war against whomever that don't comply with his way of being, his way of living. If you don't like what he's saying, he will wage war against you, but at the same time smile at you and say he'll work with you, but he's gonna take over your territory. He's gonna take you over. He's gonna consume you and turn you into something that you're not. But in the end, he's gonna get exactly what he deserves. He's gonna take his ass right into captivity. When the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai visits this place, when Yahweh Shai comes back with those angels and those chariots, and those missiles consume Babylon, which is America, and when the land of Palestine, which is Israel, will be lit ablaze, because it has to be purified. It has, what I'm saying, purification is fire is the best purification method. So when these two places go up, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to be right there in the midst of it with those angels. And when these two places are consumed with fire, and those wicked elite banking families and who cling to them, all those wealthy people that cling to them, they're going to be gathered up and taken into captivity, and rightfully deserved. Your wicked elite, the most wealthiest bankers, and the people that dwell with them, that do business with them, all those wealthy people got their plans set up. So when that plan fails, when it fails, it will fail. They're going to take their asses right into captivity, rightfully deserved, because of all the wickedness they've done on this planet, all the misery they've caused on this planet, and how they dealt with the true biblical Israelites, which are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Here in Babylon, and pretty much scattered across the globe, they've dealt with us wickedly. Mainly here in Babylon, because this is where our last captivity will be. We enduring our last captivity as I speak. So Esau Edom gotta pay double for all the treachery that he's caused, all the misery he's caused on this planet. This is Psalms 82, Salakia, Psalms 83, verses 2 through 8. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. So our enemies have made a tumult. They've made an uproar. They've murmured. They've waged war. against the true biblical Israelites, the true children of power. And it's been planned, it's been set up like this because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai wills both good and evil. So, and because of our disobedience, this is how the story plays out. This is the Most High's movie, and this is how He wrote it. So our enemies shall make a tumult; they shall wage war against us. They shall talk greasy about us. They shall do everything in their power, to subdue us. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have taken crafty counsel. They've done things in the background. They've done, they plan, they scheme, they lie. And it's all to consume the hidden ones. And the hidden ones are those Israelites that scattered that scattered here in Babylon. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. This doesn't speak to those small hats that pretty much stole the land. Because according to them, they haven't, they've always known that they were that they were what you would call Jewish. And that's exactly what they are, the Ish, pertaining to something like, not quite. But they always said, but they said they've always known that they were the children of the Bible, which is a lie. No, they are children of the Bible, but they're not the children of promise. So they're pretty much living a lie. And they also is wicked as hell. That's the chief head. That's Amalek. Those small hats that run around claiming to be the people. So all these nations have conspired in secret to keep the true biblical Israelites in a perpetual state of captivity, to keep them down, keep their minds not focused on the true and living power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, to keep their minds on pagan idols, celebrating pagan feast days, keeping their mind on all the things that will keep them from acknowledging, worshiping, praising their power. And they've done a good job at it. They've done a great job at it. Because 2/3 of our people, according to scripture, will perish in fire due to their ignorance, due to their lack of knowledge, and continually dabbling with these pagans, pagan worship, creating pagan gods, dabbling in witchcraft, eating abominable foods, doing everything that the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai told us not to do. This is verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They have all come together. All these heathen nations have come together to conspire against the true children of the Bible. the true children of promise, the true children that belong to Yahweh and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. Verse 7, Gebal or Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with inhabitants of Tyre. Verse 8, Ashur, which is Assyrian, also is joined with them. They have Holpen, is another word for help. The children of Lot, Salah. So these nations, all these heathen nations, have conspired, worked together to keep the nation of Israel, the true nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, which were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, with a concentration of them being here in Babylon, the Americas. And as you saw that great migration of people coming from the Caribbean and South America, those people, a lot of those people are the true biblical Israelites. So they're all here pretty much in one location, which is North America. And you also got Canada. You got a lot of them scattered in Canada too. So they've conspired against these people, our people, to take crafty counsel to try to take us down, to keep us in this perpetual state of unawareness. They try to destroy us with different diseases, vaccines, keeping our minds in a state of darkness where we don't know who our living power is. They put drugs, guns into the communities where we'll basically take ourselves out. We're the butt of the joke. So we don't own anything here. We're perpetual slaves to their system. And a lot of our people abide in their wicked culture. Wicked cultures. Because our people will dabble with just about any and all things other than what the scriptures actually say. And they will buck up when they're given the truth. You have people who have a feeling, I think we're Israelites, but the first thing that comes out their mouth is, I ain't no damn Israelite. So it's like they're walking, living, breathing contradictions. But this is the spirit that the Most High put on these people, because of our wickedness. Our people are pretty much doomed. You know what I'm saying? 2/3 of our people are doomed. They won't heed to instructions. They have a hard time listening. They have real stiff neck, have hard ass heads like bricks. So you could tell them something and they understand it, but they just won't do it because they got that thing in them where they're just that disobedient. This is Jeremiah 4:22. For my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are Sardis children, meaning foolish, stupid. They are Sardis children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. So yeah, they're wise to do evil. They'll abide in all these different philosophies, all these different doctrines. They play with witchcraft. They believe in Esau's sorcery, according to Revelations 18 and 23. They believe in their pharmaceuticals. That's sorcery in that verse, and if there's a couple other verses, and it pertains to pharmakia, which is pharmaceuticals. So they believe in their doctors and their medicine. They believe in their science. They believe in their technology. So when Esau finally pushes that digital system and that MOTB, they're gonna go right along with it. Some of them are gonna put up some resistance, but they're gonna go eventually go right along with it. Because as it says, they're wise to do evil. So they don't have it in them to acquire the knowledge, to do things that are pleasing to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They don't do the things that were told to them to do. They'll always find a way to do something else, to do their own thing. They'll listen to any and everybody with a wayward doctrine. They'll listen to any and everybody who comes with a pagan holiday. Every day here in Babylon there's a pagan holiday. There's a pagan day. Every day. Every day they have a day for some foolishness. Whether it's National Hot Dog Day, Pizza Day, whether it's your funky ass Christmas, your 4th of July, there's always some weird ass day here that they celebrate. And our people flow right along with it. They go right along with it. Salakia. This is Exodus 32:9. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. So because we don't listen, because our people don't listen, because our people refuse to bow to the will of Yahweh Washem Yahweh Shai and do that and do what's according, do the things that he say do. They entangle themselves with our enemies. They look for ways they can save the enemy, where it clearly says in the scriptures that our enemies are going into captivity. They try to perverse the scriptures in a way where salvation is for all nations, which is the book doesn't say that. The scriptures doesn't say that. So our people are real wicked, and they don't have discernment on who our enemies is or who our enemies are. They always abiding in different in the heathen's doctrine. So you'll have a lot of our people that play around with Ishmael's doctrine, Islam doctrine. You'll have a lot of our people playing around with Buddha, the Hinduism. You have a lot of our people that play around with Moab's doctrines. and their philosophies. They eat their abominable foods. You got a lot of our people that play around with Ammon's way of living. You got people running around here eating sushi, eating raw fish and shit. All of our food should be cooked, unless it's vegetables or something like that. We, all the meat that we eat is supposed to be cooked. We're not supposed to eat anything raw. But yet our people will abide in these things. So they lay with the enemy. They conform with the enemy. And that's going to be the downfall of 2/3 of our people. This is Ephesians 6. And I'm going to start off with verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and in the power of his might. 11. Put on the whole armor of God. Put on the whole armor of power, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And the devil being a man. That's a man. That's the deceiver. That's Esau Edom. And he's deceived the whole world. And he's made them drunk with his philosophy, the way he moves, how he thinks, how he acts. 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's your top banking families that rule the world. And they're trying to rule it in darkness. They're trying to make the world conform and put them under absolute control by way of their technology, their digital system, and eventually their MOTB. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God. This is verse 13. Again, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of power, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. So you can't conform to this. You can't conform to what they want you to do. You got to rely on Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You got to follow the doctrine to a T and keep your faith in our power. Verse 14. Stand therefore having your loins girt about you. Salakia. Verse 14. Stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. 15. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. 16. Above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Verse 17. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, which is the word of power. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all preservation and supplication for all saints. So that's how you're going to withstand and defend yourself against the the corruption, against the, the evil devices, the wicked devices that Esau is about to bring to try to put you in a perpetual state of control. He want to control your mind, your body, and your spirit. And this is our defense against these things, against the wicked, against the devil, the spirit of Satan, which is on this man Esau, to do the things that he's doing. This is our defense. The scriptures is our defense. Abiding in knowing and trusting in the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and not diverting, not allowing Satan to creep into your thoughts, your behaviors, giving you second doubt. You have to be firm, you have to be strong, and you have to rely on Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and his doctrine. That'll be the only way that you make it through this. Because those days are coming. Every day we move closer and closer to that MOTB. And the only way to combat that is to be grounded in the scriptures and having total faith and trusting in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. I hope this was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rekahak Radash Abad Babal.